Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today, I have with me a guest. He's a CEO of actually Soul Inspire Leadership, and he's board president of Pure Esperanza. His name is Ross Swan. Hi, Ross. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Beverley. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yes, me as well. I want to know more about you. Can you share with us a little bit about yourself, actually?
About myself, well, where do I start? Um, I I basically at the moment I coach executives, and I'll get into a bit more of that as we go through the talk as to the rationale behind all that. But generally speaking, I've been coaching executives, helping them to be better leaders.
Mm.
Leaders of self, because you need to be a leader of yourself before you can lead others. That's the key. But yes, generally to help them be better leaders of themselves and other people. And I've been doing that for 20 years.
Okay.
And as you can tell, I'm Australian. So in Australia, I worked in the corporate world, in financial services for quite a few years as well. And I gravitated to coaching because I could see the one bit that drives me, I could see the difference it makes to people's lives if they at work and they're with a good leader or they have a good leader. If they don't have a leader that's a bit more challenged, I might say, then their life isn't quite the same. They don't enjoy work as much. They don't enjoy life as much because work is such a big part of your time. So that's how I graduated to coaching. I could see, and I worked for some excellent bosses, and I worked for some absolute, let's say, leadership challenged people. But you can put it politically correct. They were shockers, to be honest. And you could just see the difference it made. I could just feel the difference it made in my life and observe the difference it made in others. So that's what drove me to it originally.
Okay, I see. And you are actually co-founder of Soul Inspire Leadership. Can you tell us about the organization and why Soul Inspire? You chose the name?
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I have another company that I set up, and I've been it's been my company to work and coach for many years in leadership training, etc. I train a lot of leaders, but I set up Soul Inspired probably in about 2016, 2017. Because the thing was, it was to make a statement, I guess, because, I mean, you hear it a lot of times now, is for leaders to be their authentic best, their true self, right? And that, to me, that's Soul Inspired. I mean, and if you talked about that 10 years ago, people think, ooh, that's a bit out there. And but now they don't. And what's heightened it is our challenge the world had with COVID. It actually it gave people time to reflect. And so now I have people contact me because of the name, not running away because of
it. Okay.
But it's funny. I think back to some of the people I've coached. If I told them they need to be more soul inspired, they would have run away. But in the end, when I coach them, I don't actually mention the word necessarily. Take them there and help them to be more true to themselves. In other words, lead from their heart, not their head. So that's basically it evolved anyway. But now I basically come out in the open and talked about Soul Inspired because it actually attracts people. And it's just the way the world's going in business is to actually start to see we need to be more heartfelt in the way we connect with people. And connecting with people is now critical. It's what makes us, is our ability to connect with people. And that's, to me, that's the important thing.
Okay. And your coaching, actually, you do it one-on-one, like in person, or you do it as online as well?
I do it both,
Both?
Beverly. Most of it's one-on-one. I mean, if I'm trying to grow someone, it's an individual thing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't respond, because I'm putting mirrors up to people. I'm not telling them what to do. Deep down, everyone knows what to do.
Yeah.
Just their head talks them out of it. But their heart knows what to do and how to be authentic. But their head talks them out of it. So a lot of reflection is there if you're trying to grow people. And I think some don't need to grow that much because they're well on the way to that journey, and others need a big leap of faith. But it doesn't matter where you are on that. You're holding up a mirror and getting people to actually look inwardly. Very hard in a group. You can do it, but I still coach a lot of groups because I might be coaching a CEO, for example,
Yeah.
and then next I'm also then coaching the direct reports. So I work with that on a more team basis, how
Okay.
they collaborate, all that. That's part of the dialogue we have. That's why I like to be face to face more so, and I like to be in their workplace, in meetings. Not necessarily all the time now. We accept the fact we can coach on electronic, on Zoom, etc., which I do. But you've got to get in and see how they actually lead and how they behave with others. Otherwise, I'm getting a one-sided view of the world. You can
Yeah.
have it, you can have a 360, you can do all those things, but nothing beats me sitting in a meeting and watching how someone operates in the
Okay.
workplace. And when I go somewhere in the workplace and bump into someone and mention my client's name, it's what body language do I get? Do I get a grimace, a
Mm-hmm.
smile? What do I get? That tells me
Yeah.
so much about that person's leadership capabilities. It's just that you don't get that anywhere else so rich as you get face to face. But that's why I have both. I mean, you
Yeah.
end up having both these days. Yeah.
I agree. And you have more sense when you are actually at the work, you have more sense, you feel more how the person will lead, aren't you?
Yeah, you can feel the energy. You can
Yeah,
feel the energy of where they are. Now, if they're in charge of the office, then you feel what's the energy in the office because it's a reflection of them. It's a reflection of no one else. It's them.
yeah,
And you can't feel that on a Zoom meeting. You get a bit of a hint, but not to the point that you can get face to face. But all that said, I do a lot on Zoom as well, particularly if I'm already seen someone, already been to their office, already face to face, getting a feel for it. I don't have to catch up every time with travel, etc. We just catch up on Zoom. But
okay,
it just depends. It just depends what best suits.
okay, I see. And how long have you been doing that? I don't know if you
I've
mentioned.
been coaching about 20 years, 19 years here in Singapore, and about 20, 21 years. I came up here. I just wanted to get somewhere central. Australia's a fair way away from everything, and I worked with a client in the US, and they wanted me to do the APAC works. So that's the regional. So this is more central to the regional work.
Okay. And since the 20 years of your experience, would you say that you see a change, like from, since you started, do you see the change in people, the way they lead?
Yeah, well, that I do, and as I was saying before, it's that movement towards leadership, seeing leadership as not managing someone, it's leading someone. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
You manage a process and you lead people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gap has changed. That split is now a bit more prevalent than when I first started work, which was a long, long time ago. It was basically that was it. You were the manager and you managed people and process.
Yeah.
But now people are going, no, we lead people. Because
Yes,
if you don't lead people, they're not following you. That's
exactly.
simple as that by
Exactly.
definition. And so that's more and more, particularly since COVID, I think it's heightened as far as that connectivity between heart to heart, more connectivity. Because
Okay.
the better you're connected, the more people will stay with you,
Mm-hmm.
put in more energy themselves, etc., etc., and go to work necessarily, not just want to stay home all the time. They're quite happy to be in work because why? Because they enjoy it. And that's funny that the better the leaders I've seen tend to get more people come to work. It's like, hey, I go to work today. It's fun being with my boss. It's energy. I feel pumped. Others
Exactly.
go, I don't want to go. And you get that place is disaster. Like that's one of the big reasons. I mean, there's a lot of other factors as well. Don't get me wrong, but it is a big factor is your
Yeah,
leadership
yeah,
ability.
definitely. And I agree about what you're saying because people um, mixed, they don't make the difference between management and leader, but it's like you mentioned, it's really different.
It is different, yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's happening. It'll happen more and more. Um, it's, I guess when you get into AI and the robotic world, that's not emotional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to lead like that, well, they just replace you with a robot. It's no problem. But where you're different is the fact you can connect heart to heart. And that's the key. That's the key because that's what drives people. That's the energy that drives people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, interesting. I like the way you coach because it's really about connection, about connecting with people because that's the way people will stay at the job and they will be motivated to go to work because there is a connection. When there is a connection, it's more, I would say it's more powerful.
It is. It is.
It
Yeah.
is.
And it's up to leaders to. I mean, there's a lot of said about leading with ego. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
but there is ego. Some ego is important. So I call it outer ego and inner ego. Outer ego is your headspace, leading with your head. I mean, sure, you've got to analyze data and do all those things that managers have to do,
Mhm.
but it's leading at the heart. To me, that's you have to have inner ego for that because you have to have a self belief
Yeah.
that you're okay. And that's to me, it's the same as a healthy self esteem. Your
Mm.
self esteem must be healthy. If it's not healthy, you'll never connect with others. And when you do, it's in an unhealthy way because it's a reflection of you. So
Ex-
it's everything radiates out as a reflection of your inner self. So the more you're true to the inner self, the truer and more balanced leader you are.
I
And
agree.
people tune into that. They don't like people who are volatile.
I agree. Yeah, that's wonderful. And yes, you are board president of Pure Esperanza. What
It is.
attract yes, what attract you to that organization?
Well, I guess, um, I I was connected with Esperanza Smith for a little while. She asked me to come on on the board. And so yes, when you look at Esperanza, what attracted me, right? It works on six basically. I can't, the name's gone out of my head now. El Hogar,
Mm,
the six elements of El Hogar, and
yeah.
that's education, like it's education, healing, arts, social global awareness, environment, and business. So when we look at those six elements, that's all part of self leadership. As I said, to grow, to help someone be a better leader of people, they first must be a better leader of themselves. So when you're looking at that, it takes all those elements. It's the rounded person, the holistic. That yes, ways of educating, and to me, one of my passions is teaching and helping the youth develop their self-esteem. It's
Oh.
one of the greatest challenges that youth don't have is their self-esteem.
Mm,
It comes through all that. I won't go into all sorts of reasons, but to me, education, particularly on that area,
yeah.
it's just no different to me educating on being a better leader of self. But that starts with your own healthy self-esteem. And I'm happy to put a passion and my energy into the younger the people, the better it is.
Yes.
And then the other next element's healing, which is there again, you have to be true to your inner self, and if your inner self's a bit damaged, how do you heal that? How do you grow your self-esteem again? Because it's been damaged. So to me, that's and then the outward healing as well, and then the arts, which is creativity. Have a passion for that as well. The socio-global awareness, that's being that bigger picture value, a value member of the community. We're all connected wherever we are in the world, not physically like we are, you and I at the moment. You're on the continent, I'm in Singapore, but the fact is we're all interconnected. And to me, we need to be, that's part of our awareness. It's our connectivity and what we do, how that manifests in someone else's life somewhere. And you don't know what you've done half the time, how you've impacted people by what you've said or done. And the more aware you are, the better that will be. And of course, how you fit into the environment, how we look after the environment, that's all part of your self-awareness, self-leadership and self-discipline of what you need to be doing. Now, and the last one is the business, and that's probably where I originally fit in, because I coach in the business world, and it is another aspect, but it's all connected. Because unless the rest of you is healthy, then your business output is not healthy. It will be healthy if you're inwardly healthy. And that doesn't mean to say you're going to be a leader of a lot of people. It's just the ability to lead yourself. You could be part of a bigger team and that's all you want to do. Great. But if you're leading yourself and having a discipline for your own being and responsibility, being self-aware of your impact on your behaviour, on others, and et cetera, that's all part of that business education.
I agree. Okay, I see. And is there anything that you would like to add as a
final bit, something? So I guess it's the key is to stay true to your inner self, and as I've been saying, and it's a matter of seeing that the impact that understanding that, as I mentioned, the impact that your behaviour has on others, and that's not saying you do things that you think others want you to do all your life, but then you get the other end of the spectrum, because that means you don't have your own life. You're running around and trying to be a version of someone else's opinion of your life, or up the other end where you need to be true to yourself totally and ignore everyone else. That's just a bit more selfish, but that's not the case, right? So what you need to be in life is being a bit more balanced, being aware that, yes, I need to be responsible for my own behaviour. And if people I don't necessarily get on with, then I don't need to be with them.
Yeah.
Right? Be true to myself. Be with people I'm comfortable being with. At the same time, also being aware that people don't ever remember you for how you made them feel. They don't remember anything else apart from how did you make them feel. So on that, that's the first question I ask people when I ask them leading or I'm coaching. How do you want to be remembered as a leader? In other words, if I went and asked anyone that worked for you and said, so what was Ross Swan like as a leader? What do you want them to be saying?
Yeah.
Now you write that down and you go on, then we work out what behaviours what have I got to do every day in order for people to describe me that way? It does not happen by chance. There's no magic wand. I have to behave in a way for people to describe me that way. And that goes for life. Like if I want to connect with any one of your friends, anyone that knows you, and I mentioned your name and said, please describe Ross Swan. What do you want them to be saying? And then you go and live those behaviours so people will describe you that way. And that's usually the biggest challenge. And they start thinking about their behaviour.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
no different. And you can ask that, Beverley, you can ask that for husband and wife. Like, what do you want? What do you, how do you want your wife to describe, or how do you want your wife and children to describe you as a father? I mean, you can put it anywhere.
Yeah.
Once you want it to be described, then what are the behaviours they have to do in order to be described that way? And it's funny, I've asked that question many, many times, and I've never had anyone say, I want to be known as the worst person that's ever walked. No one ever said that. They always say something nice about, because what you're doing, you're taking from up here down to their heart. Particularly when I say, remember, people, I remember you by how you made them feel. And they go, did they? I said, you think about all the people in the past. And I give them a couple of examples. Yeah, you're right. That's all I remember.
Okay.
So that's a little exercise you give people. You just do that. Everyone does it. It makes a massive difference to their self-awareness and gives them the discipline to be the person they really want to be deep down.
Yeah. So people remember something good about what you brought in their life.
Well, yeah, I've never known anyone that doesn't want that. There might be, look, there might be, don't get me, the world's full of exceptions. I've never met any, but I'm sure there's some out there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And I've had to coach some, I've done remedial coaching with some people where their career is on the line. Well, I've been told that the career is on the line. So they haven't been very good and rated very low as a leader, or I call them managers of a process, because they're not leaders. So they've got massive challenges. They never write anything apart from nice things about how they want to be remembered.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Ross. And if anyone wants to reach you for maybe your service, where can they reach you?
Well, they can reach out on my website, which is www.soul-inspired-leadership. Just soulinspiredleadership.com. That's probably it. But there's I should say, it's a bit probably confuse everyone now. www.soul-inspired-leadership.com.
Okay, you can send me the link, and I will.
I'll send you the link, and so you can put it with
with the video. No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ross, for sharing what you do, for being here, for taking this time. And
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and subscribe, share the information, and like the video if you really enjoy the content. Thank you so much, Ross, and talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.